Hello everybody and welcome back to the St. Clair Saints channel. My name is Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside John or Bill Bang here. So we got some St. Clair COD now, just switching over from that Overwatch there. I know you were on the mic for that one. I was a little bit behind the scenes there, but I will be here now replacing Amanda as we do head into some Saints gaming NACE action. Like I was saying, against uOttawa Garnet. Currently your St. Clair Saints are 18-0 in map counts here in this league. So an absolutely tremendous start to the league. That is actually going to put them on a 6-0 record with an 18-0 map count pool. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, if you're the coach at that point, what do you really tell your team? Like, you haven't dropped a single
keep scrimming.
map.
Just keep scrimming. Keep doing what you're doing.
Eventually, you will run into a team that will challenge you, right? So you always got to stay on your toes. Obviously, if you're up so much, like, you kind of maybe get into that mindset of every game you go in, you're like, oh, this is an easy win. We haven't lost at all. How could we possibly lose anything, right? But then you're going to hit from the side with something crazy that could happen. Maybe uOttawa Garnet could be that thorn in their side that could take something off of them. So right now, obviously, looking like they're pretty well dominating this game in just about every facet.
Yeah, I completely agreed with you on that one. And I mean, I would ask you about predictions, but we already know what your predictions are. We're both expecting to see a 3-0 here. I mean, obviously, uOttawa Garnet, one of the more tougher teams they have played so far, but still, at the end of the day, the St. Clair roster is just locked in and so focused this season that really the competition is just struggling to keep up right now. They've grinded in the offseason. St. Clair had a great season last year when the game was still out and active and whatnot. Obviously, still out and active now, but they had a great season last season, and over the summer they didn't hold back. They still kept grinding, and hence why we're seeing the early season domination here from St. Clair. They put in the work when maybe some other teams weren't.
Yeah, for sure. And I think too, more importantly, is you get really comfortable on these maps and you kind of know them well enough that you don't have to worry about too much as a coach how you want to play around it. You know what your comp is and you keep running it the same way every time. Even with your new players, you kind of just plug and play.
Until you run into issues, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So until something is broken, you're not fixing it, right?
Exactly.
So it's essentially the strat here. And everything's going well for St. Clair so far in this game. You do see them picking up all the frags that they are looking for and whatnot. They will be hitting this 100-point marker. Well, uOttawa Garnet still stuck at 6. So at this rate, we're going to see another 250 to 18 games. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah, it's uOttawa Garnet picking up some more points here now. As of for St. Clair, everybody just kind of slaying out. Sauce is holding back a little bit more on the slaying. He's just not having as many engagements for himself. He's more playing for spawns and stuff, I believe, right now. Even though he is an SMG player, I think he's playing for more spawns because everybody can frag right now from St. Clair. Brandon, he's going to be that main one who's just hopping this hill. He's got about 80 seconds already on that one. So gathering majority of St. Clair's points on hill time will be Brandon. And other than that, obviously, Gorilla, Priestley, they're going to be your main slayers here with those ARs. They're just going to go in and do the work. And as of now, everything's working well for St. Clair.
Yeah, and I want to talk more importantly about an 18-0 map or 18-0 map count. It's so much down to how you actually play around the map and how your team play is rather than individual skill. Because individual skill, sure, you can maybe win out a couple maps that you shouldn't have been able to. Maybe you can get yourself a couple of victories that you can. But if you're shutting the team out, it just has to be macro playing. You even see at the beginning of this game, Goonsey actually was getting a lot of kills throughout the first couple minutes of this game. But it hasn't really mattered because St. Clair has been able to play around that hard point. They're able to hold on to these objective timers so that they're able to make the most out of them, right? So
like what you're saying, I mean, uOttawa Garnet in the kills department, it doesn't really reflect on the scoreline. Because if you look at their kills, you might say, okay, they might have 50, 60 points potentially here. But the thing is St. Clair is just beating them in the ways of the facets of the map, like spawns, rotating, getting those big one-on-one rotate kills and whatnot there. St. Clair doing more in that facet of things where uOttawa Garnet, yes, they're finding these kills, but these kills are just exit frags. These kills are just ones that are lingering around, not as more meaningful kills, which is why you see the scoreline reflecting in the way it is right now. St. Clair just doing what they do best here right now, just kind of working on everything. And yeah, one thing like you were also saying about that 18-0 map record, that also proves that they are solid in every game mode, right? I mean, it's not like you're saying, okay, hey, St. Clair is a 6-0 team, but they've only won Search and Destroy 3 of the times, right? So it's not like we're saying that, right? So you do see St. Clair actually being able to compete here in all game modes, as you can see on our screen right now. Hardpoint, they're up 175 to 21. uOttawa Garnet trying to get some more action on the board, but St. Clair is just too strong right now.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like they're trying to stack up here to try and force their way onto these objectives. But as they're on their way to those, they're getting picked off, from either side. And looks like St. Clair just playing the map absolutely perfectly. A good flank here is going to get one for Brandon as well. It's going to be 2 kills for uOttawa Garnet. But again, they're not able to get onto this point fast enough to convert those kills into meaningful objective points. So they will finally get some more objective points here on this plane, but St. Clair is going to contest this real fast.
Like, Brandon should not be able to, like, do what he's doing up there in top lane. Like that gunfight that he just took, like, I mean, you should not be winning that if you're Brandon there. But, yeah, or that through the wall. Like,
that's crazy.
Like, these are gunfights that really you shouldn't be winning. But St. Clair is right now, so they are going to also have those to reflect on the scoreline for them as well, as they do breach that 200-point marker. uOttawa Garnet still stuck down the 26-point marker around there. So, at this point in time, St. Clair could essentially just play scrap time on hills and still come out fine. You know, if uOttawa Garnet comes back here in this one, that'd be one of the craziest comebacks ever, but doesn't look like, honestly, we're going to see that too much. Chewy, he does get a nice little kill there to keep the point contested and whatnot, but I mean, contest is not getting you points. At this point, you're just delaying the inedible, and Brandon is just shutting it down and picking up that scrap time. We should see maybe 1 to 2 more hills here. uOttawa Garnet does have the rotations. Let's see if St. Clair can break.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking here, like, I don't really think the scoreline represents how this game's actually been going. I think Garnet's going to be getting a lot of picks on these rotations, but they just haven't been able to pull it into anything meaningful. So if you aren't able to convert picks into anything meaningful, you're not going to get objective time. And maybe on a more forgiving mode, such as search and destroy, picks are going to be important, and mechanical outplays do give you a lot more net value. In something like Hardpoint, if you're not properly rotating, you're not going to be able to get anything, no matter how many kills you get.
There's a nice couple kills there actually from Slayer that we just saw come through. Brandon will get you picked off in one of those results, and yeah, it's going to be St. Clair here, still holding his hill. We could see this game end here unless uOttawa Garnet can get a good, strong team push. But with that being said, I don't know if we're going to be seeing that team push come through. St. Clair should be wrapping things up right here, right now, in this final 15 seconds of this hill. They only need about 5 more points to close things out here, and it's looking like they will do so. St. Clair Saints will take game 1 in this best-of-5 series over uOttawa Garnet in a dominant fashion, 250 to 26. You know, we were talking pregame a little bit, and I was expecting to see a little bit more from uOttawa Garnet, to be completely honest. I was expecting to see them hit that 150-point marker, something like that. Like, you know, I know you were asking me before. You're like, what are you kind of expecting to see here with that one? I was like, oh, honestly, uOttawa Garnet, pretty solid team. They're going to come through, probably going to drop that 150-point marker. I still think Saints 3-0, but I mean, I was not expecting that. I don't know if you think it's the Saints playing well or what you think there.
I think more importantly in that one, it was definitely St. Clair being able to hold on to that objective despite losing members, right? You saw there was multiple times where Slayer picked up a couple kills for himself, and Goo picked up a couple kills for himself as well. So I think at that point, you're getting the picks, but you're not converting it into objective timing, and that's where St. Clair does really, really well, is knowing how to play the map properly in order to maximize how much objective time you're getting. Because as much as you like seeing picks, if it's not turning into objective time, it doesn't matter.
Kind of something like a twist on kind of what you're saying there. I completely agree, as long as you're getting that objective time, right? So the thing is St. Clair gets more objective time per kill than most teams do, right? If you look at that, if you get like objective time divided by kills or whatever it is, it's a higher value there because, you know, 1 kill for St. Clair, they get those meaningful kills. They pick out the gunfights, the ones they know, the ones that they need to fight, like to take the actual fight, when they know the difference between pointless gunfights, right? So St. Clair will be benefited in that doubt as well, playing the map really well, just playing in a smarter pace of fashion and whatnot. Because as you were saying, uOttawa, they have the slaying ability, they have the mechanics, they have the gun skill. It's all just about the map the team chemistry and the map awareness and map knowledge and whatnot there. So with that being said, St. Clair Saints will be leading 1-0 in this series. If you do look at the top left there, that is a little bit incorrect right now. It's currently saying 0-0, but it is going to be a 1-0 lead right now for your St. Clair Saints over uOttawa. And yeah, so as of now, if you are from the side of uOttawa here, I mean, what do you do going into game number 2? I mean, okay, like, obviously you're like, okay, St. Clair's the powerhouse team here. We know we're favored to lose. We know that they're going to have the upper hand on us by a long shot. What do we do to try to pull something off here?
Yeah, so more important thing to remember here is that it is 4v4. So every pick you get is going to be very important, and especially on a mode like Search and Destroy, it is essentially... if you get a pick there, you're giving yourself such a huge advantage on one of these sites that you can push on. So I think I'm definitely looking for a couple people from Garnet to step up, try and get those early picks. And if you can get an early pick, force yourself onto this point. And obviously it does come down to raw mechanics in those gunfights, but how you play around it is going to be important too. So if St. Clair, even if you do end up losing those mechanical fights, which obviously they were still way up in kills, so regardless... Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, just with that, one thing that does scare me, too, is for uOttawa, right? You say they need to get those aggressive picks. Completely agreed. They do need those early picks because they're going to have a really hard time winning the round otherwise. However, you don't want to see uOttawa getting too aggressive and making, like, dumb challenges.
Yeah, of
Like
course,
you do,
of course.
you want to make sure these challenges stay within realistic means, and don't pull out these ego challenges. But I do think I do agree with you on that one. You need somebody from uOttawa, maybe like Slayer, some of those guys that we saw with the more fragging out potential, come through here, maybe take a more aggressive approach to things and try to clean things up on that end. But yeah, like you were saying, they need a player advantage here. They need player
100%.
advantages as much as they can. They need to use numbers to their advantage. That's the biggest
Yeah.
thing. Ottawa, a default setup, like you might be better off like making some gamble calls rather than your default setup here.
And I mean, when you're playing against a stronger opponent, no matter what game you're playing, no matter what mode you're playing, you need to try and find something unorthodox in order to beat them, because you're not going to win straight mechanics. You're not going to win straight macro play. You have to try and figure out some kind of cheese in order to give yourself an advantage and try and get that snowball rolling. Because if you can get that snowball rolling, make them start thinking about how they want to play, that's how you beat better teams, is by forcing them out of their comfort zone, forcing them out of the box they have, and that's where you can try and get your advantage. Because that's really, I mean, when you lose 250 to 226 in the first match, you got to find something that's unorthodox in order to win.
Yeah, so right now we're getting ready to head into that search and destroy here momentarily. If I do believe correct, the next map should be Moscow, if I do stand incorrect. And I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Yeah, it's Moscow.
It's Moscow. You
Moscow.
remember? All right, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, so it is going to be Moscow search and destroy is what we're heading into next. Moscow, a map that we see a lot for Saints Hardpoint, a map that we haven't seen as much for Saints, for Saints Search and Destroy.
I've seen a lot of Moscow Search and Destroy doing Windsor Esports. They played a lot of it, so it is something definitely a lot of teams, and it was actually picked against them a lot too. So I think it's a map that a lot of people are really comfortable playing
this is
Search
Saints
and Destroy on. Oh, so yeah, so they're comfortable, clearly comfortable on it too. So like it's a very default map, and like you said, like Raid, it's very comfortable for players to go on something they know well, they know the map well. It's something not too out of the ordinary. So as long as they're comfortable on it.
So that's the one thing. I think uOttawa really should. So uOttawa pick map 1 and 3. Throughout the first 3, it was uOttawa pick map 1, uOttawa pick map 3, and then St. Clair pick map 2, and then the opposite team hosts and whatnot. But with those first ones, I mean, the one thing that really does scare me there for the side of uOttawa is the fact that, St. Clair gets their map 2 map pick, right? So obviously, like, they're going to take that search and destroy on Moscow, whatnot, right? You didn't do too hot in your map 1 map pick, right? So you've already dropped one of your map picks. So then now you look at map number 3, and you say, okay, we picked Raid Control. Thing is, Raid Control is a Saints dominant powerhouse. So like that is literally like you would have a better chance taking the Saints to their like if you don't know a map at all and the Saints don't know a map at all, you'd be better off taking that map because you know what I mean? Like, right? Like, as much as you don't know it, I mean, the Saints are probably putting in more scrim time or more hours on, like, actually practicing and getting those strats come through. I mean, that's one thing that I'm really anticipating to see here, but we'll see what happens moving forward. Just when we actually get officially started here, we should be only a couple minutes away before we actually do hop into this Moscow S&D game. Do you have a score prediction for this one?
I'm going to go... I mean, I can't bet against the Saints here. I just can't. They look too good in that first one. Their objective was too. I think 6-1. I'm gonna say.
I was gonna say 6-2.
Okay.
So yeah, both of us there. I think Search and Destroy is one of those game modes where you can get a little bit more rounds, just timing rounds and stuff like that. So uOttawa hoping to maybe get a lucky for a couple ones and find a couple lucky rounds. Maybe find a couple of skilled rounds and whatnot. And hope for the best here going into this one. But obviously, I think the biggest thing also for uOttawa here, keeping your head high, keeping the momentum there. It's so hard to do that, to go down 250 to 26 and then go into a map 2 and try to your best to, just keep yourself in ones. But the thing is, especially with COD players as well, I find, majority of the COD community get very down on themselves like through after one map, right? That it feels as if they can get very upset very quickly. Yeah. So hopefully, if you are from the side of St. Clair here, and if you are from the side of uOttawa, everyone just looking to keep their composure here. Obviously, St. Clair's all fine and dandy right now. They're all in the nest, just vibing right now. You see Corey's and Dawson also going to be in the nest as well with them. And I mean, uOttawa here now, just the morale has got to stay there if they do want to find a few rounds here in the Search and Destroy. If not, maybe the game.
Yeah, so it looks like they're just chilling over there. And I want to talk about Dawson as a coach. I think he has evolved so much. We saw him play last year, and then now as a coaching role. Like, I feel like he was such a good captain, turned into such a good coach, and going 18-0 in map count to start off your first time coaching is unbelievable.
He's very interactive with the roster, very compassionate about what he does. I mean, putting the hours in, as you can see. you know, really just is best. He has the best interest for the
Yeah.
team, and that's the best thing you like to see in a coach is having the best interest for the team, right? Rather than, you know, maybe personal interests and whatnot. So it's good to see Dawson come through there. Obviously, a great coach for this roster. All of them, all of us here in the production room love him. All of the guys over there in the COD team love him as well. So nice to have him here as well with us. And St. Clair, we do head into the search and destroy here. Does look like St. Clair on the offense to start us off, and B site is the target. Slayer behind car. Does he get spotted out? They do get the intel. I think they hit markered him with that. That's gonna be the nade kill.
Yeah.
Semtex blows up the car, and that's the dangerous part about playing near a car.
So they stack 3 on A, which is actually very common. B site is not the easiest to hit from the attacking side, but obviously when you are able to get that initial pick, it is a lot easier to put that bomb down. So it looks like, yeah, go ahead.
No, all you.
Yeah, so, okay. First pick went, nothing else happening so far in this one. That's going to be shots down onto Goonsky here in mid, but won't catch him out. He will have to back up here, but a lot of time push down, only 30 seconds remaining here. They're going to try and all push together, but that's going to be Gorilla taking out Hish Hash on that. Chewy going down as well. That's going to be Goonsky, last one alive. He will get a pick on Gorilla on the backside, though, but he has a lot of work to do if he wants to try and win this one. Looking for someone. Goonsy's going to get flanked. Oh, actually, Goonsy's going to win that one against Sauce. It's going to be a 1v2. Can he pull this off? 10 seconds remaining. Goonsky just playing it safe, but no, he's going to get taken out. St. Clair can end up winning that first round 1-0.
At that point, St. Clair just had to play time on the bomb. So, I mean, there was really no way that he was going to be able to come through with that one being Goonsky. But Gorilla going for the clip there. Almost wanted to go around for the third, but didn't work out for him. All good, though, for St. Clair. They do clean this one up. But, yeah, like you were talking about at that initial part of the round, not many players go B here. Not many teams go B here on that, especially the first offensive round. You know, hence why you see uOttawa Garnet's 3-stack A. But at this point, St. Clair says, okay, we know that we have, you know, a better skill gap here on our opponents. Let's pull some trickery. Let's go B. Let's do things that like teams like let's say uOttawa Garnet go, why are you doing that? That's exactly what they want to do to uOttawa Garnet right now. And so now you see uOttawa Garnet, they're playing that basic A default setup, and I think St. Clair's just really prepared for it, and I think that's really going to make them have a hard time. Hence, you see Priestley and Brandon find early picks. Yes, Gudinsky does answer back, but the early picks are tough, and Brandon not checking Slayer. Slayer being nice and cheeky there on the back line. Yeah,
Slayer found a good spot. The bomb is going to be down there as well. He doesn't go for it yet. It is going to be 2v2. There's a flank here. There's Gorilla has a flank. I don't know if they realize that he's here. Goonsky is in a dangerous spot. He is going to back up. No, he's going to actually move up through mid here. So this could be really interesting here in just a second. Actually, looks like one will be hanging around the backside here. Will they find each other? Looks like Slayer might be onto this. Oh, he's going to get Goonsky before it can happen, though. He's going to go for the shot, and that's not going to matter. 1v2. He clutches that one out, and St. Clair goes up 2-0.
Yeah, that was a really nice play there from him. We'll take down Goonsky here. Turns and burns down goes Slayer. Gorilla cleaning things up in a dominant fashion. 2-0 now lead for the Saints. Heading into that game number 3. And, man, it's a tough time right now for uOttawa Garnet. They definitely have not had things going in their favor here today.
Yeah, that was so much patience from Gorilla there. The fact that he sat there for literally 30 seconds, Goonsky in mid, and then just at the last second, got Goonsky swiveled and got Slayer too. Unbelievable
Well,
play.
he had so much map control and such good positioning that he could provide so much intel as well. So at that point in time, you're like, why would I move? I mean, if I move, I'm just hurting myself more here. So good stuff there from him. It's a nice early pick. Our 2 actually early picks. We'll take down Slayer and Chewy. And there's another one down on Goonsky. So now all up to Hishash. And it's not going to be easy for him. That's just going to be them running into the spawn. That's going to be your St. Clair Saints here, taking the lead now 3-0. I might be changing my scoreline prediction to a skik. So, but no, I mean, uOttawa Garnet, they're trying their hardest here, trying to find these picks. But St. Clair, it's so hard, right? Because like St. Clair's just rushing right into their spawn and just knowing that they have the upper hand on these gunfights because A, they're host on this map. B, I mean, they're just... You know.
I think more of anything, it's just you're more mechanically better than the other team, so you can afford to take a little bit more riskier plays, push yourself forward, and allow yourself to force into these objectives without worrying too much about being taken down. Because even if you end up having a trade kill happen, you still have enough faith in your team that they're going to be able to get this objective down and play it around it properly and actually take the map in your favor. So 3-0 St. Clair. I just really find it hard for these attackers to get anything happening here. Chewy will have this bomb, will be pushed up in a dangerous position. That's going to be Slayer actually picking up first blood. Trade kill will come out from Sauce, so it's going to be 3-3 here, but he will be found out by Hishash. So it's actually going to be uOttawa Garnet up 3-2 here. This is going to be dangerous. Gorilla trying to push all the way around towards A site. will support Priestley here. It's going to be plant will go down. 45 seconds for St. Clair to try and answer this one out. Priestley going to take his time, wait for his backup to come. Gorilla and him are going to push out through a main here. Will they find a pick? It's going to be Hish Hash on the right side. Hiding out there will be Chewy going to back him up. It's going to be Goonsky playing pretty decently far offside. Oh, Hish Hash with a kill on the Priestley. It's going to be 1v3 here. Gorilla finding one. Can he find the other two? Chewy going to be hiding in that building. That's going to mean it's going to be Chewy and Goonsky against Gorilla. Can Gorilla clutch this one out? He goes for the flank behind here. He catches out Chewy. Gets one. Oh, doesn't get land shot, so that's going to be one. He's going to miss completely. Oh, and Garnet take the round. Gorilla with a beautiful chance, but cannot convert. And Garnet take round number 1.
Yeah, that's exactly what uOttawa Garnet has to do if they do want to find a win here in this game. I mean, just a dominant push there from them, and they really locked down things as they needed there. And so now it's going to be Saints going on to the offense here. It's going to be them trying to get the bomb plant now, and let's see what site they do decide to actually go towards now. I would like to see maybe a little bit more of that B trickery, because I feel like, you know, as much as, you know, it isn't that usual site, it's a hard site to push out, it seems as if the Saints should be A-okay, because
I think they're listening to you.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. But and the thing is, look at uOttawa Garnet's gamble stacking A. Like, there's nobody here. This B site is completely wide open. uOttawa Garnet know that they're going to have to take these gamble stacks if they do want to come through with rounds. And St. Clair will take the gamble as well, and it's going to reward them with a good B site.
Yeah, they are going to be up a pick early here, so they will have control, and bomb will go down here in just a second. Yeah, Slayer actually going to get Gorilla there, so it will be 3-3. Bomb has not been planted yet. This could get dangerous for St. Clair. They want to push this bomb down, but they can't afford to right now. Sauce is getting a Hish Hash, so it's going to go down to 3v2, and bomb plant will go down here. St. Clair looking really good in this round.
Yeah, but now we're at a 2-on-2 as Slayer does take down Priestley, and that's a little bit concerning now for the Saints because Priestley is one of your main Slayers there, and he did have a good like kind of post-plant setup here for this bomb going down, so let's see what happens here now. It will be all up to Slayer and Chewy. Two players that have been alright throughout this one. Chewy having a little bit of a slower start, but Slayer, he's been one of those names that we've seen consistently throughout the hardpoint and now in the S&D. Let's see what they can do. They're going to make this push try to get together. Sauce in a great spot, though, and Brandon on the flank going to be making things even more difficult. He does spot out Slayer. Slayer, shot from the side, goes down. That's going to be your St. Clair Saints now taking the lead, 4-1.
Yeah, that was a pretty dominant round. They got a really early pick on the Goonsky there that allowed them to get point. It was worrisome when Gorilla got picked off, but once they got bomb onto site, they kind of waited it out and waited for Garnet to get impatient, and that's when they started getting the plant down. That's when they waited for the push forward, and that's how they easily won that round. So definitely a lot of patience for St. Clair, but it paid off really well.
Yes, agreed. So here we go, your St. Clair Saints now looking to advance back onto the defensive side of things. You know, last time they were on defense, they did drop that round to uOttawa Garnet, so they're looking to lock things up here in this one. St. Clair is looking to put Gorilla over towards B, and this could be a uOttawa B push here now. It's going to be mid-B area, I think. Oh, Gorilla and Priestley opening us up. Priestley follows it up with a nade, and I mean, he has some more players there. Priestley has a lot of intel for the team. Yeah,
they do know there's two more here. He's going to get him through the wall. That's going to be 2 quick kills. St. Clair take the sweep and a 5-1 scoreline. They are on game point here. And that was just 2 quick kills to start and 2 quick kills to end.
And, you know, that Priestley information, that was huge for Sauce. That's what allowed Sauce. Well, that's what the intel actually got Sauce to push up in the first place. Priestley calls out, hey, there's 2 there. They're right at the door. He's like, I mean, those are 2 free kills, Sauce. Go push him out. Sauce goes up there. He finds him, catches them completely off guard from Eski. And that will be St. Clair taking the 5th. Match point, as you were saying, as they do head on to the offense, and typically their offensive rounds have been more dominant than the defensive, I've found. So let's see what happens here. But will they go B? Will they go A? Let's find out here shortly. And it looks like they're going to choose neither, and it's going to be a very large mid presence. Slayer, though, will open us up on Gorilla.
That's going to be a quick pick there. It's going to be a second. Chewy going to get himself on the board. And there's going to be a third one. On to Sauce. It's going to be Priestley against the world. Can he do it in the 1v4? This would be a lifetime challenge. But no, Garnet actually going to pick up the sweep here and make it a 5-2 scoreline. So a little bit of hopium coming in for Garnet there. A clean sweep, actually. And he definitely, that was really, really good play by him. Able to get that slide and able to catch out one more. So Garnet doing really well in that round, and that could be dangerous for St. Clair.
Yeah, I'm not concerned, really, to be completely honest. I mean, St. Clair, more or less just doing their thing right now. I mean, that's what I was talking about when I said it, predicting a 6-2 scoreline earlier on. You know, that's just how Search and Destroy works. You know, timing could favor uOttawa Garnet in some gunfights, and it just results in St. Clair losing some. That's just the way the world spins. And so here we go. Now it's gonna be St. Clair back on the defense, and they do have a pretty good lock here. Priestley didn't even see that one player right in front of him. That's pretty interesting. But Sauce and Priestley will cut down 3 early. Slayer, last one alive, cleans it up. St. Clair College will take game number 2 in a 6-2 fashion here. Just exactly my prediction. I can read the future, man. I was talking about them. I'm like, all right, they're gonna go B here. They go B. Next thing you know, I call 6-2 scoreline. Wow, look at us go. But yeah, dominant scoreline win there for the Saints. We do head into raid control, and I mean, I feel like we both know what we're expecting to see on raid control.
Yeah, St. Clair's bread and butter, I feel like, is raid control. They've looked so good at every single team they played against, and I don't think there's going to be a difference. I think definitely looking a little bit better in those later rounds for Garnet, but realistically, I mean, there was a couple opportune moments they took advantage of, and I definitely think Gorilla is punching the air right now after he could have won that 1v3 and just completely missed on escalators.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll see. One thing I did want to touch on quick actually was what was it? Yeah, how the map picks from uOttawa, I think personally favor the Saints more, because if you look at things, right, checkpoint, hardpoint, that's the Saints bread and butter hardpoint. Like, that's their go-to hardpoint map. So they get their go-to hardpoint map, and then the map number 2 comes along. It's their pick. So they're like, all right, let's just take Moscow. Like, I don't know the logic kind of behind the Moscow pick. They're probably pretty dominant on Moscow Search and Destroy. It used to see a lot of Miami S&D, but now more Moscow, I guess. So Moscow S&D comes through, their map pick, whatever. They take the W there. And then you go into map number 3, you see raid control. Okay, that's the bread and butter for their control mode. So, I mean, on uOttawa's map picks, it has favored St. Clair so far, as you do see checkmate and raid here. But we'll see what happens going into map number 3. Do you have any score predictions in this one?
3-0.
Yeah,
I think 3-0. I think
I'm gonna go 3-1.
Okay.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay, taking it back.
Well,
you gotta predict the future.
I'm gonna put some faith into uOttawa Garnet. Maybe they get a round here. I'm gonna say 3-1. If they don't go 3-1, they will have one round that makes it a little bit close. And you know, the Saints might squeak through with the win there, but it's gonna be a little bit closer, and they're gonna come through with a little bit more firepower. So we'll see what happens here going forward. We should just have a couple minutes until we actually do get started looking over. We are just waiting to hop into the lobby and stuff like that. So we're just going to be vibing here. And as of now, I mean, the St. Clair Saints, I don't know if I've really, like, the thing is, I've always wanted to touch on, like, you know, maybe some mistakes the St. Clair Saints have been working, like, that they need to work on or stuff like that. But the thing is, it's so hard to look for those little mistakes when you see St. Clair win hard points 250
They're 20-0 now on maps.
Yeah,
what can you nitpick out of that, right?
That's the thing, right? But, like, you know, like you were saying at the beginning of the cast, you know, you always got to stay on your toes. You always got to be able to be ready for those teams that do come through and actually are those heavy hitters. So the thing that just, like, concerns me is, like, obviously they're still scrimming these top of their teams, right? Like, I mean, that's the big thing too at the end of the day. Like, you can't just come through and play your league matches and call. You have to scrim the teams that you know are more your skill level. And so obviously they're working on things in scrims. It's just tough for us casters because we can't typically see you know, what's actually getting worked on, because it's not getting really presented to us. So what's getting presented to us is St. Clair coming through and absolutely just going to work.
Well, it's just all there comes a point where it's just they're so mechanically better than the other team. There's not much to work on because you have such smooth mechanics. You're so good with your map presence and how you play your macro game. Your rotations are good, and that's another naked kill for Priestley. Gorilla picks up one. They're gonna look for a fourth, try and clean it up here, and Priestley with a pistol kill, absolutely smurfing all over uOttawa right now. And it's just, I feel like raid control is so St. Clair's map that it's just,
look at this.
Like, they're going to get to, I hope we don't see that. You think they're going to go back to spawn killing them again?
Like, we see it every time. I mean, like St. Clair is going to get to a point where they're like, all right, let's just try to get these lives down quick. Like St. Clair, honestly, I'm going to be completely honest, they want to finish this game and go home. Like at the end of the day, like, they know they're going to come in here. They just want to come here, you know, play out their game and, you know, just go home after that one. So they're just trying to maybe force the uOttawa Garnet potentially in their spawns here. uOttawa Garnet, though, yeah, I will give them a little bit of slack. They do actually have 5 picks here throughout things so far, so they're not doing terrible. But at this point in time, St. Clair at that 6-point lead, and they just get more and more pushed into their spawn. You see Sauce and Brandon, they're pinching these players in the spawn. Chewy now going to get picked off, and here is the spawn trap for St. Clair. This is where things go south for uOttawa.
Yeah, this gets so dicey. Sauce and Priestley just spamming into that. Oh, looks like a pick actually onto Sauce, with Priestley getting answer one back. He's going to get another one too. 2-for-1 deal for Priestley there, looking for a third, but no, he's going to have to retreat here for a moment. Slayer finally going to get him.
He shouldn't even have lived that long.
No.
He shouldn't have been able to even reload his gun, to be honest, but he will be able to come through there. Slayer getting a shot down from Sauce. Nice little window peek. Only 6 seconds to hop on the point. It doesn't look like St. Clair's really allowing this. Half the time St. Clair's dying, it's because they're running out of ammo. And they will take round 1 there. So we're off to a good start there for the Saints, guys. And now they're looking to head over to attack. However, I mean, at this point in time, I mean, uOttawa, it's just tough. Like, there's no answers.
They're just so well versed on this map. It's not just about the mechanics. It's about where they're positioned on the map to take full advantage. Like, you have Brandon holding left side. Anyone that's going to try and flank, they're not able to do that. They try and push through, but they have someone holding the painting room. They have someone that drops down, like either Sauce or Priestley, drops down, covers people pushing in, and then he'll go right back up. So he's able to cover both sides, and you have 2 long-range gunners on the backside supporting them. So it's just, what do you do if you're Garnet?
Their initial break, St. Clair's really good at their initial pushes on controls, and it's actually really big for them. So it does result in St. Clair getting that early initial push, right? So they get that early team wipe, and then once they get that early team wipe, I mean, it's just like, all right, let's just push to their spawn now, because they know that they have the upper hand on this team, right? So they're like, okay, once we get our first team wipe, let's just push towards spawn. Hence, that's what we do see. And one thing I do want to talk about as well, Priestley being that slaying out powerful house right now. He's currently at 11 kills, or nobody in the lobby is really even close to his kill count. Priestley's just always had that ability to come through and completely slay. And in a mode like Control, where lives are ticked down, I mean, that's not what you like to see. But so far on the defense, uOttawa Garnet's actually putting St. Clair to a little bit of a stop here.
Yeah, for sure. They tried to run it through mid, and it worked for a little bit, but they wanted to try to push on B. They got picked from behind, and then they weren't able to actually get any objective time. So Garnet actually producing pretty good numbers here. Hishash and Gunski getting another couple picks, and actually up 6 lives right now. So St. Clair definitely not looking nearly as potent on offense as they did on defense.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to see the 6-5 advantage here. It looks like they're actually really struggling in every move they make, and they don't have a whole lot of time, so they do actually manage to get someone on B, and now this is a full B push for St. Clair. St. Clair should be able to rack up some attention over here towards B, like we were saying, but, I mean, overall, I mean, this live advantage for uOttawa Garnet is really helpful to them moving forward. I mean, St. Clair could most likely capture B here as long as they play their cards right. The one thing that does scare me, though, is that live count for St. Clair.
Yeah, definitely going to be down here quite a significant amount. That's going to be Gorilla picking one, but a trade going out as well. That's going to be Priestley and Brandon getting one for themselves. Goosey going to get one, and he's going to get a second, too, onto Priestley. So they will be able to stave off B for the moment, but it's going to be 4 people on A here. So they are going to full push there. Goosey just moving over now. But a trade kill actually did go out, and Slayer picking up another one. Will be traded out by Sauce, but it's not going to mean they're going to get a full... Yes, they will get 1 tick on A and 2 ticks on B here. 2 ticks on A as well. So they're getting dangerous close here, finishing up this objective, but lives are coming down. Yeah, but lives are coming down. They only have 10 lives remaining, so this could get dicey.
Yeah, if they 10 close out one of these points, it would be really big. And I don't know if I agree with that chow from Priestley there. And then Sauce goes down, and you know what? I might have my prediction right here. uOttawa Garnet is looking good here. Brandon can keep himself alive. I mean, this would be a big turnaround if the Saints can come through and win it, but it's definitely not going to be easy by any means.
Yeah, they're going to get B here, though, so they will give themselves a little bit more time to try and get A. But 5 lives to 14, 13 now, it's looking pretty bad for St. Clair. They will have to try and keep as many lives as they can. They will be able to get B site, so they will have an opportunity to push on A for a minute, but they're going to have to be very calculated. Oh, that's not what you want to see. That's going to mean 1 life remaining for each of these players on St. Clair.
Yeah, so they die, they're out, and that's Priestley gone for the rest of the round here now. All up to Brandon, Sauce, and Gorilla to maybe potentially capture A, but honestly, I don't see St. Clair being able to win this one here. I think this one going to go in favor of uOttawa Garnet, as Brandon might be able to find a strong pick here, but no, that's going to wrap things up, I believe. 2 players just ain't enough, really, to break through A or, you know, 2v11.
Yeah, it's really going to be tough for me to see Gorilla and Sauce clutch this one up. But you never know. They do get a pick early, but no, it's going to be traded out immediately, and this is going to be Gorilla versus 10. I don't think those odds are looking good for him. He gets 1. It's a good start, but he does only have to get 1 point here, so he will stick on here. There's going to be 4 people coming down on him. That's going to be it. Garnet, take round number 2, and you did predict 3-1 initially, so... You know what? I think for me, too, that round was so good because they pushed through mid. They got a little bit of eject time on B, but it just seemed like after that, St. Clair was all over the place.
I don't think St. Clair really stuck to the strats as much. I think they're still kind of just, like, chilling and vibing. Dawson might say something here now, say, hey, guys, like, I mean, you know, that's a round that we should be taking here in this one. Obviously, you know, they are still not too concerned, but it's just more or less at that point in time saying, hey, like, let's not get a little carried away here. Let's still remember this is a regular season league game, and we're just going to come through here and try to do our best, play our typical
I gotta
strats.
say, though, Goonsky at 16 and 8 right now.
Yeah, that's really good. Goonsky, I've been seeing his name a lot more. And one thing I do have to say as well, Hishash, I've been seeing his name a little bit more here in this one than previous ones. One thing that does concern me for Hishash, though, is he is dying a lot. In a mode like Control, it's something you don't like to see as a good amount of deaths. So, yeah, this could be a concern there for them. But Priestley, Brandon, St. Clair obviously much better on the defense.
Yeah, they're looking a lot more in form here. Already up 4 lives and looking towards spawn again. Saws and Priestley looking for something spicy. Hishash gonna find a kill onto Priestley though. Gorilla gonna trade him back out. But regardless, I think St. Clair looking so much better here on defense. Their offense definitely looked not as good, not nearly as good as their defense is looking right now. Garnet having nothing going. Maybe this map just, would you say it's more defender focused?
Yeah, honestly, Control is a more defender focused game mode in general, so it makes it fairly hard on the offenses. But the thing is, at the same time, is like offenses do win more now as we are in the later season of the year, where in the early season it was pretty much defense would win almost everything, but now offenses have found ways to win a little bit more here, and so that does St. Clair's win a lot of offenses against tougher teams. That's what it does concern me a little bit. They didn't take that one, but I'm sure things are fine as they do look to take this defense round.
Yeah, for sure. St. Clair with a significant lives remaining count. And uOttawa Garnet, obviously, I think they did win that last round pretty heavily, but St. Clair on defense just looked unstoppable on raid control. So Sauce going to pick up another kill as well. 0 time left. That's going to be St. Clair College taking round number 2. And I'm kind of scared for Garnet because if it does end up going 2-2...
I know what you're about to say. It's if it goes 2-2, St. Clair will be on defense. No, that's not 100% certain. This all comes down to lives because that's just so hard to explain right now. If you have more total lives throughout the game, then you get defense.
Oh.
So, let's say, for example, St. Clair won both of their defense rounds with 10 lives remaining, but uOttawa Garnet with both one of their defense rounds with 15 lives remaining. That means uOttawa will actually get defense in round 5.
Ooh, okay. So, and they have won these defense round by a very, very
so St. Clair should
margin.
have defense in round number 5 if it does actually head that way. But yeah, like you were saying, I can see it gets very confusing when you do actually have to follow kills and stuff as well. But yeah, if you just look at the frags there for each team, it does look like St. Clair have the numbers pretty drastically in their favor. So they shouldn't really have too big of a problem here. And honestly, I'm expecting them to win this offense. I think the last time was a fluke.
Okay, so yeah, I think their B control here pretty solid. They already got a couple picks trying to move over there, and it's going to look like they will take control of B here. They will stack 4 on it as well. Branding in a pick onto Chewy there, and looks like we'll try and defend this with not too much progress being made here at the moment on point, but they will finally get that first tick. But Goonsky and Slayer are going to get 2 picks themselves, so they will push back here. But Sauce holding this bar area will be able to hold his own. So yeah, actually they get 2 picks in answer, so this could be St. Clair's point.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they're too concerned about how much ticks they get really at this point in time. They like to just be on it to stop the clock and let their teammates just go and kind of frag out for a little bit, just so the lives counts in their favor a little bit more here moving forward and whatnot. But with that, I mean, it's actually Goonsky and Slayer. They're coming through. I've seen Goonsky and Slayer consistently more than the others. I feel like here through the night for uOttawa Garnet, and they're really making a little bit of a name for themselves, taking down some of these top Saints players. A couple ticks here on both points for St. Clair. But the time is ticking down, and we're at a tie for lives.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty close here in round number 4. Looks like St. Clair will make some more progress on A site here, and they will be able to get 2 ticks. And I really like what St. Clair does is when they realize there's 3 people committed to a site, they will rotate someone over to the other one and force them to split their decision. And if you play, oh yeah, they do get A actually there. So they will start looking to go towards B with a nice pick onto Chewy and a good one on Slayer as well. Traded out by Goonsky, but Sauce going to get him as well. So that means they will try and convert this B into objective. And like I was saying, I really like what St. Clair does. They pull someone away, and then when they try and go back to the other side, they split them 2 and 2, and then they overwhelm them with numbers.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just such a hard strategy to follow if you're uOttawa Garnet there, because, I mean, as soon as you think you have them caught red-handed, you got to flip-flop back over to another site. So, with that being said, it's going to be St. Clair leading by lives by 9 and currently on progress to get their second tick. It's going to be Chewy trying to maybe slow things down here a little bit. Slayer and Goonsky trying frags, but Brandon does have streaks, and he's going to call those through. Goonsky going to get picked off potentially, no. And, yeah, so St. Clair now, oh, I didn't even realize they had the full tick. I didn't even realize. That's game, and wow, I called a game 2 and 3 fairly accurately. Game 1 I was a little bit off, but hey, game 2, 3 I called.
What? That's okay. 2 out of 3 is not bad. 66%. We'll take it.
Hey, we take those. We take those C's.
C's get degrees.
See, hey, man, that's facts. So, yeah, St. Clair Saints will be taking a nice little 3-0 here tonight
3-1.
over.
Oh, 3-0 total. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. 3-0 here over uOttawa Garnet. And, I mean, honestly, that's something that we were kind of anticipating going into this. St. Clair now advancing the record to 7-0 with a 21-0 map count record.
Like, it's so crazy that you're winning every single map in every single match that you're playing.
It's so hard to stay that consistent.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like, especially in that last one, Garnet definitely had a chance, especially after they took round 2. But that second offense they had looked so much cleaner than their first one.
Oh, 100% there. And I think on that St. Clair's offense, like, you see it happen all the time when you see more of like a dominant, maybe like kind of blowout type game kind of thing. You do see, teams actually throw rounds away more like that, like kind of more often. St. Clair at that point, I feel like the comms weren't like, obviously they weren't sitting there like screaming call outs to each other. They weren't sitting there screaming like, oh, you have to be here, like let's go, like really sweating. But no, this was more of a laid back saying, all right, like everyone was kind of probably just doing their own thing, get fragged out, and they're like, oh damn, we lost a round. And then you see once they lose a round, things change a lot quicker, 100%. Right? So we, like you were saying, we see that second offense being a lot different there, and ultimately being that 3-0 in the series here. But like, I mean, what do you have to say for the teams that have to play the Saints here going forward? I mean, that's the big thing.
I'd start running and then never stop.
I personally like. I feel like one of the biggest things that these teams have to do right now is, you can take down the St. Clair Saints team. It's like it's all about putting in that time and watching these VOD reviews, right? Because I feel like that's one thing with Call of Duty that you got to be utilizing more is, especially the Saints team. I mean, unfortunately for the Saints, there's tons of VOD on how our COD team plays, and so I mean that's all viewable to everybody, and I mean you can really dissect a lot from that. So yeah, I know for a fact that St. Clair has definitely done some VOD review and deep diving and stuff like that, and it definitely does help them out. So let's see if we do see any of our future teams trying to make us struggle here a little bit more than we are as of now. But yeah, 21-0 map count with that 7-0 record. Crazy stuff overall. And we've got a good night of broadcast here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, both teams have really came through and showed their strengths.
3-0s all around. That's what we like to see as Saints fans, because there's nothing better than taking a victory,
And these were like 2 30-minute games. Like these were not a lot of action for you guys here tonight, but it was really good Saints, cheering on the school. It's a really 100%. Good time to be a Saints fan. So that being said, if it's a really good time to be a Saints fan, it's also a really good time to be a Crunchyroll fan, as we do have our new sponsor, Welcoming Crunchyroll, on our board. I know they've been underneath us for a bit now, and I have shoved it into your guys' faces quite a bit, but why not? Because you can get a free 14-day premium trial at crunchyroll.com/Saints. It is a great service here, basically the Netflix of anime. If you guys are interested, go head over to crunchyroll.com/Saints for your free premium trial. Moving on to the next sponsors, we also like to thank Tim Hortons, Subway, the St. Clair SRC, and St. Clair College Alumni Association, as they all help us out tremendously as well. And thanks to you viewers at home for helping support the stream as well. Indeed, we would not be able to run it without you guys. And John, if you want to talk a little bit about our special merch here that we got on.
I love the merch. I think the design is so great. You can get t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, crew necks, whatever you need. We got acquire.ca/Saints. Get yourself some merch. I got myself some merch. I'm happy it came in, and I know you guys can't wait for yours to come in that you've already ordered. But if you haven't, check it out, acquire.ca/Saints. And 2 3-0s on the day, nothing much to talk about because they're just such dominant victories, but it's always nice to get something in the victory column. And I think, as the season goes on, especially because we're playing in so many Swiss formats, we're going to see the Saints challenged a lot more as we move forward. So definitely something to think about moving forward. And how do you, if you're say you're a coach for these teams, right? And say you're DOS, you're 21-0. What do you say to your teams in order to keep this momentum moving forward?
That's the thing, right? Like, I mean, you want to make sure, like, you have to keep your players in check. That's the big thing, right? You have to, make sure, like, the egos aren't getting built too high. It's nice to have confidence. There's a difference between confidence and an ego, right? And that's the big thing that gets misguided sometimes. So you just got to keep the confidence in check. You got to keep the morales in check. And the biggest thing is just keep trying your hardest in these games, no matter what level of opponent you're facing, sorry. and always stay consistent and on top of the scrim schedule. The scrim schedule are the ones where you can pick your opponent, and you're picking an opponent that you know will test you and will challenge you. So stay on top of that scrim schedule and keep grinding those scrims, because we know going into this later season, we're going to see teams that will give us a run for our money. We're going to see game 5s. We're going to see things along those lines. So always got to stay on your toes, like you said at the beginning of the broadcast, and still saying it here at the end. Got to stay on your toes after the Saints will take a 3-0 win over U of Ottawa.
Yeah, really great game, and that's going to be just about it for us today. Jackson DePry Brown, always love having you on the cast. It's always fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to come work for you there on Easy Mode on Saturday. Cast some more COD alongside Amanda there. So very excited. You will see your St. Clair Saints guys actually playing in that tournament as well. So I know it won't be it'll be broadcast over on Easy Mode. But yeah, St. Clair Saints, if you want to see some more COD there, that'll be Saturday, 7 p.m. So we're going to be very excited about that one. But anyways, guys, with that being said, like John was saying, my name, Jackson DePry Brown, joined alongside John Billabang Zodima. We were casting some St. Clair Saints COD here for you guys tonight, and we'll catch you guys all on the next one. Have a good night, everybody.